All right. Thanks for joining me again on my journey to learn how to make meals and cook. Tonight, we're utilizing Green Chef again. And it's the Mongolian barbecue style ranch steak. That looks good. Tell me that doesn't look good. But before we get started, I want to do a drink. But I gotta get some music going. Have you heard this Hank Williams Jr. new album? Man, it's really cool. Let me know in the comments if it gets too loud for you. But tonight, it's not gonna be a bourbon night. I have no more bourbon. I drank all my bourbon. All my whiskey's gone. But we've got this neat little book here. It's called Home Bar Basics. Cocktails at Home Anytime by Victoria Vergessen. She's got a neat little shop right there in Alexandria, Virginia. My daughter actually worked for her several years, and we got to know the little shop there very well of antique cocktails and barware, and she put together this neat little book of different cocktails to make. And one of my somewhat favorites is this Bee's Knees. It's a gin drink. So we're going to go ahead and make that, and then we're going to make the meal. So follow along with me about these Bee's Knees. It's a neat little drink. I mean, how can you go wrong? It's Bee's Knees, and it's a gin drink. And as we go through the night making the meal, I'll tell you a little bit about why I don't do gin all that much for that. So we're going to start with some ice. Alright, so ice in my shaker. I'm going to go through this. I'm going to make this 2 drinks because I got my gorgeous wife sitting over here gawking at me about my amazing culinary skills and see how my mishaps go. So we're going to make this into a double. She likes to use a jigger. I use a little mini measuring cup. That's how I do mine. So each drink is going to be 2 ounces of gin. So we're going to go ahead and do 2 of those. So 2 ounces of gin. This is one of our favorite gins, actually. There we go. And then we're going to use 1.5 ounces of lemon juice. And then they ask for honey syrup. So we make our own honey syrup. It's just like making a simple syrup, but instead of sugar, you use honey. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio, and that's what we use. So we're gonna put 1 ounce of honey syrup in that. And then the fun part, shake it. Fun part, shake it. Now, I don't know if you've watched Bar Rescue and John Taffer, but anytime they do that, you got to smile. There we go, smiling. And then we picked up some of these neat little crystal coupe glasses and from the thrift store shopping. I think it was the Salvation Army thrift shop there in Alexandria, Virginia. We went up to visit my daughter, and her now husband lived up there. And this is a Bee's Knees. So good. So good. Okay.
Thank you.
Let's get that out of the way. We got our drink. We are ready to go. Let's wipe our workspace and let's get some dinner going, okay?
I'm hungry.
tonight we got the Green Chef Mongolian barbecue style ranch steak. Good stuff. Here we go. So let's grab our meal out of the fridge. So all these Green Chefs and some of the other home meals, they come in little bags. They got everything in them. So this one's Mongolia barbecue style ranch steak. It says it right on the label right there. It's not that hard to figure out. We're gonna go ahead and pop that open. Get all the goodies out. Look at that. Green beans. Woo! Oh, look at this. Look at that pepper. Wow, that's pretty nice. Ooh. And then what I really like about this, because I'm not a chef. I'm not much of a cook at all. Barely salt and pepper, but the seasonings, they already come mixed. I don't have to make up my own seasoning packs. This one, ginger, lime, vinaigrette. Ooh, good stuff. I know what those are, poppy seeds and coconut aminos. So, let's get into this. This looks really good. It's got those Christmas colors, but I'm not saying Christmas. I shouldn't have said Christmas out loud. My wife is antsy about decorating the house as it is. All right, so our first step says prep. Under prep, always at the top is where we start to begin. Fairly easy. Cut red bell pepper lengthwise into strips, about 1/4 inch thick, half the strips widthwise. So we're gonna start with our bell pepper. We're gonna rinse it off real quick, and then grab my knife, just pull that label off. Go. Rinse it off real quick. Grab my handy dandy kitchen knife here. And we are going to cut the bell pepper lengthwise into strips. So what I want to do is, we don't want any of this stuff though. I want to get rid of all that. So let's get rid of all that stuff right here. There we go. Just get rid of all that, all the seeds. I'm gonna cut right down inside that little membrane there. I guess I've been fortunate enough I haven't cut my finger yet using this big old knife. And away we go. Okay, so now let's get our bowl. So that way we can put our strips in it. Shrimp lengthwise. So we're gonna go lengthwise here. And we're just gonna cut lengthwise. I said about 1/4 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch thick. And that's all we're gonna do. I'm sure some of you guys are much more familiar with in the kitchen. It can go a whole lot faster. Me, I am gonna take my time. Take my time, enjoy the music, enjoy the company, and sip on my bee's knees. There we go. The nice thing about these meals is that it comes with everything. Little novice like me, I get to experience all these flavors, which for years I didn't deviate at all from meat. That's all I ate. Meat.
Meat and pasta.
Meat and pasta is right. That's all I ate. And pasta, I didn't know what portion control was with pasta. I'd eat it on my wife told me years later it was a pie plate. That's how I ate my pasta. I used a pie plate as my dinner plate for pasta, and I'd go and load that up 2 or 3 times. It was so good. Believe it or not, I was up to about 215, 220 pounds first of the year.
Until we started these meals.
Until we started these meals. That's right.
We both lost weight.
I gave up beer, pasta, and bread. And let me tell you what, the weight came off, and my palate has been very happy for it, experiencing all this great food. So I got my pepper all cut into strips, and now it says I got to cut the strips widthwise. So I'm going to cut them widthwise, and then I'm going to throw them into my little bowl to get them off my cutting board. So I got them all cut. There we go. I'm going to cut these all widthwise. Try and stay with somewhat familiar size. There we go. See how easy this, I mean, like I said, I'm a novice at this. I don't get in the kitchen. My wife cooked for the, man, we've been married 27 years. 27 years. So the first 26 and a half years, my wife did all the cooking. And now I'm enjoying this, doing these meals. I've actually found it therapeutic, actually, doing these meals. Because I don't have to, I just have to follow directions and I get all the flavors I got. All right, so next is our green beans. So we're gonna cut the ends off of our green beans. Oh, I like these fresh green beans. I'm gonna cut the ends off, throw the bag away, rinse my hand off real quick. All right, so we're gonna cut the ends off, throw them in another bowl, and then we actually get to start cooking stuff. Yeah, cooking stuff. So, funny story about gin. I asked my wife before we started doing the meals if I had any whiskey or bourbon left. She said, no, I drank it all. I thought she meant she drank it all. But she corrected me, as she should, and said, I drank it all. So I said, well, what kind of drink can I do tonight? I'm not much of a vodka or tequila drinker. I'm not a whole lot of a gin drinker. So she said, well, you have gin. I said, well, then I guess I'm going to wear my shirt tonight and make a bee's knees, because that's about the only gin drink that I'll drink. So my shirt says stupid gin. Well, that's because if I have about 3 gin drinks, when I wake up in the morning and start looking at my phone or even the house, all I can say is, stupid gin. So I wear the shirt to remind me not to go more than 1 or 2 drinks. That's why I have it. So we're cutting the ends off of these green beans. Put them in my bowl because I have a feeling these are going to cook with the pepper. It's going to be good stuff. Again, if you're just joining us, we're doing the Green Chef tonight. Mongolian barbecue style ranch steak. Good stuff. Not too difficult. Doesn't take a whole lot of time either. I mean, we're just starting this and I'm almost done with all my prep. I'm sure that some of you out there are a whole lot better in the kitchen and can chop the ends off of this, you know, at breakneck or speeds, and me, I am not. I like all my digits without band-aids on them. So I'm gonna take my time. All right, so now we get to get our steaks out. Nice. So we got a beef ranch steak. We're gonna go ahead and get that out. And something I learned doing all these meals. I don't know why I didn't think of it before, but it just realization of me doing them. I have to make sure all my meat is dry before we throw it on the pan. Isn't that something?
Danny said, oops, I meant gone. Ha ha. I don't know what he means. Danny.
Danny?
Yeah, Danny, I'm confused.
Danny, I'm confused. Maybe Danny's a little confused. So I don't know. I don't know what Danny's meaning.
I don't know what Danny means.
All right, so let's get into our meat here. I know you guys probably don't think I need to do that with my knife, but I did it anyway. There we go. All right, I'm gonna put this over here. Rinse my hand off real quick. And then we're going to...
Bobby Jackets Pittsburgh says, good evening from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Hey, we've been through Pennsylvania. In fact, if it wasn't for all this COVID stuff, we would have been there last Thanksgiving for the... What was that, Philadelphia?
It was Philadelphia.
Philadelphia for the parade. My son was a marching band, and their school got picked to be in the parade, and doggone COVID. Just saying.
They want to know where you are.
Me, I am in South Carolina.
Myrtle Beach. Well,
We're right along the coast in South Carolina. And wherever you guys are, if you don't mind, could you take the heat back? Okay? Take the heat back. Give me some of that 80-degree low humidity stuff, because all you're pumping down to us is this high 98-degree high humidity stuff. And we don't want it no more. Take it back. Okay. Man, we can do a whole video on the weather, but I want to get to these steaks.
Oh, there's somebody from upstate South Carolina here.
Hey, nice. We like that area up there. We were in the Furman area a couple years ago. My son was up there for
We travel a lot with Ben.
a week with school. All right, so pat the ranch steaks dry with paper towels. We're going to season this with the, man, I hope I pronounce this right, ancho. Ancho, A-N-C-H-O. I have no idea. Ancho? I don't know. Cumin and oregano blend. See, that's one thing I like about this type of meal. I don't have to mix the seasonings. It comes mixed for me. So it says season with ancho, cumin, and oregano blend, and then I got to add some salt and pepper to it. And we're gonna heat 1 tablespoon of cooking oil in a medium saute pan. Danny, if you're listening, medium tonight, saute pan over medium heat, and then we're gonna add the steak. So let me get medium pan, Danny.
So you had the comment from the upstate. They said they're in a little town, Ware Shoals, South Carolina, and he said you pronounced it correctly.
Yes! Yes. You know, I get words wrong more often than I probably should. So having that affirmation that I said it right, man, I appreciate it very much. Okay, so as I did the last meal, I spray this with some like some cooking spray. I have no non-stick pans in my house. I don't like them because when I cook, I tend to burn things, and I can't use a wire scouring pad to clean it if it's non-stick. So we have stainless steel all in the house, so I can take my, drill with the sand blade or a bit on it, and I can just get all that grime off if I have to. But recently I've been just spraying, and then I put the cooking oil in it. So we're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of cooking oil, some EVOO. Get that turned on while I'm seasoning my steaks with my pre-measured, pre-mixed.
Our upstate friend said, join the club. I forget how to spell words. My husband can't pronounce some words either.
That's why Google and all these phones, they have spell check on them before you send them out, All right, so we're going to go ahead and season our steaks. So I don't know if you guys can see that very well on there, but all I'm doing is taking the pre-mixed seasonings and laying it out there. And then I'm going to, as always, salt and pepper come as a pair. They don't come individually. Whether you use them both or not, they come as a pair. Because the last thing you want to do is grab the salt and then wonder where in the world is the pepper. They come as a pair. So we're going to do a little bit of salt, a little shake. Well, I guess I could pour it over here and then shake my body a little bit, but I'm not going to do that. And then some salt and pepper. All right. Now, when I put this on the pan, I'll season the other side. That way I'll be able to get both sides seasoned. I'll be able to do that. So right now we're going to sear it. Add steaks to the hot pan. We're going to sear it 4 to 7 minutes on each side or until fully cooked. Now, beef does not need to be, in my opinion, well done. You need to have some red in it.
Okay,
now, my
but
wife,
it doesn't need to be raw either.
My wife says it doesn't need to be raw. There are certain meats, like prime rib, like a rib eye, like a porter, like a nice steak, that when you cook it and it comes to your plate, whether you're in a restaurant or you're at home, and it comes to your plate and you get real close to it and grab a 9-volt battery and stick it to that thing, you should hear it say, moo.
Oh,
That's
they agree.
perfect.
Rare or medium rare is the best.
You got that
no.
right. So we may sear these for maybe 3 minutes. We'll see how it goes. So we want to make sure that our pan is nice and hot because we've got to sear it. Got that going. I probably shouldn't do this, but I splattered a little bit of water just to see if it sizzles up. It's not ready. That's what I do, whether it's right or wrong. That's what I do. Remember, I'm a beginner in the kitchen. I don't do this type of stuff. I can follow directions, though.
Oh, Missy. She gave me her name. Missy's our friend from the upstate.
Oh, nice. Like the upstate. All right, so we're waiting for our pan to heat up. We're going to cook the steaks, and then we're going to transfer the steaks to the cutting board.
Okay, so Missy wants to know what you're drinking. She must have missed it.
Missy, I am drinking a Bee's Knees. It's a gin drink, and it's actually my only gin drink that I drink. We mix it up, and we put them in these nice, neat little coupe glasses that we picked up. It's a classic cocktail. So I guess if I'm going to drink this, I need to drink it with pinky up. I don't know. Somebody can correct me later. I have no idea.
And Danny says the water trick is okay. You can keep doing that.
Yes, I probably should see if it's hot. Thank you, Danny, for that. There we go. So I've got a little bit of sizzle. I'm going to bring my meat to my pan. Trust me, that's the only way it should work. By experience, I learned that. I should not bring my hot pan to the meat. Okay. So we're going to sear on the seasoned side, and then I'll season the other side up. And then I'm going to put this in the trash, bring my pre-mixed seasoning over on the unseasoned meat.
I really think you should, touch on the fact these meals have saved us a lot of money with the prices of groceries going up.
Yes.
Our prices haven't gone up.
So we ventured into these meals.
Because we're lazy.
I wouldn't say because we're lazy. We needed a change. We would buy a bunch of food in the fridge. Our kids are all grown. We have one teenage boy at the house, and if you've had teenage boys in the house, they're not in the house. They're out hanging out with friends, and ours is in marching band, so it's just one of those things that you get to where you stop making so many large meals, but we were still buying the same amount of food. So we needed a change. Let me get my sauteed veggies on. So I got to get a large saute pan.
Okay, Missy asked, what meal service do you use? Okay, right now we're using Green Chef, but I use like all of them. We've done Home Chef, Green Chef, Oh, what's the other one? That's real popular. I have memberships to all of them because you can pause the weeks. I will see whose menu looks the best and fits, and I'll pick that one for the week and pause the other week. So I use them all.
So Missy, what we're talking about with the meals are one neat thing. I don't know if this is planned that way. I don't even know if it's going to continue doing that. But when we go to the grocery store, the prices are going up on all the stuff. But since we've been doing the meals, our prices for the meals have not changed all that much.
At all. They haven't
we
changed at all.
we actually save money doing the same meals versus us going to the grocery store and buying the food to do the same meals. And then you got a bunch of waste in there because you're buying 3 bell peppers to make one meal, and it just doesn't work that way. So that's why this is so nice and neat. But like my wife said, we're using Green Chef tonight. We've used a lot of them. Green Chef does, I don't know if you can see this, it's probably mirrored backwards, but we do a lot of the keto. It's just low carb. Low carb, and the proportions are really good.
So Bobby, he plays a trumpet. And we are he is in one of the top bands in our state. So he's a busy boy.
Okay, so right now I'm getting my large saute pan, Danny. Large saute pan.
Danny's comments are not coming out. He said his stuff's he's not coming out. So I don't know what's going on with Danny.
Well, that's probably because he's using cuss words and vulgar
he's not.
language.
No, he's not. Missy said they've tried every plate, and when their food came in, the meat was warm, so they had to call to get a credit. I've never used every plate. I use Green Chef, Home Chef, and the very common one that the name is not coming.
Blue Apron?
No, not Blue Apron. We never use Blue Apron.
Okay.
HelloFresh.
HelloFresh.
HelloFresh. Those are the 3 we use.
Yes.
I'm a member with HelloFresh, Home Chef, and Blue Chef. No, Green Chef. Huh.
All right, so we're going to add, in our large saute pan, we're going to add our bell pepper and green beans.
Cajun Chris is Cajun, so he can't do the meal plans.
Cajun Chris. We spent 3 years, we spent 3 years in the Biloxi area, Mississippi, and another 2.5 years in Monroe, Louisiana.
I love the Cajun food.
Love the Cajun food. Never quite got a taste for the mud bugs though.
Oh, crawfish, no.
Never did. But the Cajun food, man, we would I still want to go back to New Orleans. Oh my God.
I gained 15 pounds while we were in that area.
All right, so I've got my green beans and my peppers on. We're going to cook those for about 2 to 3 minutes until the bell pepper is tender. And then we add our ginger lime vinaigrette. This is not our ginger lime vinaigrette. This is our ginger lime vinaigrette. Comes pre-measured. Excellent. And then we're going to season that with salt and pepper and then cook that another 1 to 2 minutes.
Cajun Chris said Cajun food secret revolves around the Holy Trinity and the Pope.
Yeah, right. That it does. We'd go down to we'd go down to New Orleans, and my wife would get the etouffee. I hope I pronounced that right. And some of the rest. When we went to New Orleans and visited New Orleans, I'm not, Cajuns outside of New Orleans, but we go down the French Quarter, planning to visit as many restaurants as possible. So you order sides or trying to order
an appetizer,
kids type of meals because you want to try so much. But the time we spent in Louisiana, we had our share of Cajun food, and it was good.
He's explaining onions, bell peppers, celery, and the Pope is garlic. Yes, you are correct. Missy said her hubby's birthday is tomorrow, and they are doing smoked crab legs and salmon steaks Friday at the campsite. Oh, you're a camper. We're campers.
Send me your address. I'll come eat some crab
They're
legs.
campers. We're campers.
Hey, you like to camp? Absolutely. Okay, so I got the steaks off. Steaks are off, and I'm going to be returning that pan used for the steaks to the stove top over low heat, and I'm going to be adding those coconut aminos. So let me just keep that over here for right now. Stir up my veggies a little bit. Add a little salt. Add a little pepper. See, now if my wife wasn't watching me cook, I would tell her I come up with this menu all by myself.
If I didn't order the food.
But she orders the food.
And pick the food.
And she picks the food. So that's, I guess I have no secrets. But,
Yeah.
you know, if I started ordering them, well, I don't know. I couldn't do that. I wouldn't be able to order them. I wouldn't know where to begin. I just learned where the salt and pepper is, you know, placed in the kitchen. Okay, so we're cooking the green beans and the pepper. Man, this looks good. I don't know if you guys can see that. Look at that. Isn't that cool? That is awesome. Look how bright look how bright that green is on the green beans and the, woo!
Missy, we love camping too. We just got back from a week at a campground where there was no cell service, no internet, we had no TV. We just completely checked out of the world for a week.
Alright, so I'm up to my saute the veggies, that's what we're doing. We're in step 3. See how easy that is? I mean, that's why I can follow directions. I don't come up with a menu on my own. I have to follow directions. So we're in step 3, waiting for the green beans and bell pepper to cook. And then we're going to add our ginger lime vinaigrette. And then we still got to make our pan sauce. So we're going to return the pan that we used for the steaks. And we're going to add coconut aminos with the sesame oil, which is right here. And 2 tablespoons of butter.
Butter.
Ooh. It's a good thing I looked ahead on this menu because I laid my butter out.
Well, we have butter over here. We have butter over here.
I can't use that butter because
Oh,
butter is pre-measured. Look at that.
We're gonna have like
I can't use that butter.
We're gonna have 10 sticks
Alright,
of butter.
so
out.
I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of butter. So butter, you know, look at that. I mean, it's already, it's marked. So all I got to do is cut the 2 tablespoons right here. I'm going to cut that, and then I can put this back in the fridge. While I'm over here, ooh, man. Can you guys smell that? Smell that. Look at that. Woo. We are almost at the finish line. Hang in there. So I've got my pan. We're going to put it on medium heat, right? What's that say? Make pan sauce. Return pan on low heat. Ooh.
Yes, Danny, it does smell good.
I almost made a mistake on that one. I almost had it too high. Okay, so now we're at the point we're going to add our ginger lime vinaigrette. Now the other day when I did one of these videos, I twisted the top of my bag. Because if I don't twist the top of my bag, and I go in here to cut using my all-purpose knife, and I cut this, it squirts out all over the place, all over my cutting board. So what I do is I twist the top,
Oh, you learned a trick.
one full turn, and then I cut that, and when I open it up, I got a little hole right there. I don't know if you can see that. See that little hole? So now I'm going to go add that to my bell pepper and green beans. Ooh. Guys, man, that smells so good. Okay. So now that's going to cook another 1 or 2 minutes.
Awesome trick, they said.
That's going to cook another, thank you. I'll drink to that. So that's gonna cook another 1 to 2 minutes. And now we're gonna do this pan. Same thing, I'm gonna twist the little end of it, and I'm gonna add the coco de minos with sesame oil and my butter. And we're gonna cook that 2 to 3 minutes or until the butter is melted. Sauce good. There we go. So now let's go ahead and twist this. 1 full turn.
Missy's drinking a cold one herself.
Nice. There we go. Oh man, look at that. That is so good. And then we're going to add the butter. And we're gonna wait till the butter, like that, butter. Mix this up. I'm gonna turn that down just a little bit. Ooh. Man. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Does that not look good? Woo! Okay. So as we got our pan sauce going, our veggies are over there marinating. We need to cut the steaks against the grain into 5 to 7 slices. Okay. I have no idea what the steak grain is.
Danny, help.
Okay, so I'm looking at this piece of meat. Do I cut it this way or do I cut it this way?
Danny.
It smells really good. I don't know what the grains are. I'm just gonna cut it.
Danny said, cut it in half and look at it. Look at the inside.
Cut it in half. Look at that.
Show it to Danny.
What's the grain? I don't know what the grain is. Okay, I'm just gonna cut it.
Alright.
Because it says I gotta cut it. And then we're ready to rock and roll and eat. I mean, my butter over here, my saucepan's mixing up. I gotta mix it here. Gotta find something to mix. There we go.
Missy said, cut it just like you cut it. Danny said the grain is like strings going across. I think you actually did it right with that cut.
Yes! 2 people agree. Yes. Okay. So that's what I'm gonna do. And this one's probably mine because it's a little red. But you know what? It's gonna be so good. Hang in there with me. We're almost at the finish line. We are almost.
It's good. It smells good. I'm hungry.
Oh man. At the finish line. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to do these videos, because I kept seeing people doing them, but I'm not a cook or a chef. I don't cook, and I'm able to make a meal
That looks like this, yeah.
that looks like this.
Oh, Danny says perfect color. Missy said looks amazing.
That looks like this and tastes even better. Man. All right. We're ready to plate.
Oh, yeah.
So what we're going to do is we got to cut the steak. So I'm down here in step 5. Says we got to cut the steaks against the grain into 5 to 7 slices, which I did. We're going to divide the sauteed bell pepper and green beans between 2 plates, because this is a 2-plate meal. And then we're going to shingle the steak on the side, drizzle the pan sauce over the top, and then garnish with the sesame seeds.
Oh, Missy says now she's hungry and all she has is homemade smoked chicken salad.
I can't help you, Missy, but I'm going to tell you what. I'll let you know about this first bite.
I think George is hungry too. Look, he's waiting.
Okay, so we're going to put some of this on the side. We're going to shingle. Look at this. We're going to shingle this. And oh my gosh, you guys, look at that. That is perfect. Look at that. My wife's not going to mind. My hands are clean. I'm not in a restaurant. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Now, let's finish it off
With the sauce.
with the sauce. Wow. Sprinkle. Guys, Green Chef Mongolian barbecue style ranch steak. Oh, I made this, guys. I made this. I had no idea how to even mix salt and pepper just weeks ago. I just made this. So can you. Thanks for joining me.